Mr. Newsroom, and Dr. Simon Moores, who's an internet security expert. He's the program director of the ecrime Congress, due to take place in London next month. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
So these key loggers who try to gain access to money in your bank accounts, in banks and so on, explain a bit about how it works. How do they do it?
A key logging program is a piece of software freely and easily downloadable from the internet, which, if installed in your system or my system or anybody else's system, simply records keystrokes and information you're putting in there. So if you are somebody trying to steal somebody's identity, steal vital information, and you manage to install one of these on a system, that keylogger will report back and save the information to a file which you can access either directly or remotely. And many of these keyloggers are a problem now on the internet. They're downloaded by viruses. And so it's a vital concern now when dealing with the fight against crime on the internet.
Do you know when you've been keylogged?
Probably not. If you have an antivirus program in place, it's quite possible it will spot it. However, if in the case, for example, of a large organization where a keylogger is installed on a secure system, potentially maybe by a trusted third party, you might not know at all.
So how do you protect yourself?
Very difficult to achieve this at all. If you are a consumer and you have antivirus software in place, then you're probably protected fairly adequately, if the software is up to date, from such key logging and identity theft devices. If you're a large commercial organization, you could be a bank, you could be a large company, then you probably have procedures in place to try and protect your company as effectively as possible. But the danger always exists not only from the outside, but from the inside, if you have trusted third parties working for your organization who might install such a system on your machine or on a trusted machine.
Now, anyone listening to that who has a bank account online is going to be very disturbed. You say it's very difficult to protect yourself. I mean, is this putting a question mark over doing financial transactions over the internet?
I think we have to draw a line between doing financial transactions over the internet, the connection between yourself and your bank, and what might happen in a scenario, an example like the one we've heard, where money is potentially stolen from inside the bank. In most cases, transactions held over the internet are pretty much secure as long as the person using the internet connection has all the right security precautions in place, as I do and as I'm sure you do from home, in terms of antivirus software, an appropriate firewall and an up-to-date operating system. If you're talking in terms of managing this from inside an organization, and it could be a bank and it could be a large company, then that's a totally different challenge, because it means there's a question of trust and management over people in your organization.
Dr. Moores, thanks very much for shedding some light. Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
Targeted for a record-breaking theft, the London offices of Sumitomo Mitsui Bank. Its computer network came under attack from raiders looking to take away £220 million. But an international police operation foiled them. This Israeli man was arrested after an attempt to channel cash to his account, one of 10 where the high-tech gang planned to divert the money. The cyber thieves planned to beat the security walls around the bank's computer network using a technique called key logging. That can involve either installing equipment or using software which records every key pressed on a computer. And that enables intruders to steal passwords or credit card details. In this case, officers from the National High-Tech Crime Unit were called in after Sumitomo spotted that something was happening on its network. But experts on fraud say keylogging is a growing threat to all banks.
Organizations of this kind spend a huge amount on security and securing themselves from the risk of the internet. But the danger still exists from personnel, from people working inside the organization who may be in trusted positions, particularly where information technology is concerned.
It's not known whether the threat to Sumitomo came from inside or outside, but what's clear is that computer crime is now as big a danger for banks as old-fashioned robbery. Rory Catlin-Jones, BBC News.
The news that hackers had used a computer program to work out bank account passwords is being seen as a wake-up call to the banking industry. But ITV News has learned that £20 million has already been stolen electronically by cyber thieves in the last year. Lauren Taylor reports.
This was the target of an audacious heist, the offices of a Japanese bank in London. Today, Israeli police arrested a hacker accused of trying to steal £220 million. So how would it have worked? The bank's computers are protected by passwords, but a hacker could get access by installing specialist spy software onto its computer. This collects information every time an employee strikes the keyboard, which could be sent to criminals thousands of miles away who could enter the same password information to drain accounts illegally.
There's many ways a keylogger can get on a system, but one of the possible ways is with a Trojan horse. And so that's an application that pretends to be something else. When the user clicks on it, they unknowingly install another piece of software, basically a Trojan horse. In this case, a keylogger will record everything that you type into a PC. So from all the websites that you go to the usernames, and most importantly, the passwords.
Here in the city, where millions of pounds are transferred daily at the tap of a computer key, the sheer scale of this attempted heist will have sent shivers down many corporate spines, as the financial institutions realise quite how vulnerable they are to modern-day fraudsters and their high-tech methods. This is one simple way hackers can gain access to passwords, a device that's fitted directly to the computer. And experts believe the latest attempt is most likely to have been an inside job. But corporations are at risk from both internal and external attacks on their systems.
We know it's happening. We also knew that last year that some large companies were taken for about 20 million or more over the last couple of years or so. So it's happening in the background. Since then, we've seen big institutions putting much more security in place, precautions, hardware and technology. But it still shows it can happen.
Now corporations are being urged to tighten up their security in the face of these increasingly sophisticated cyber criminals. Lauren Taylor, ITV News.